Oh boy, those are. I'm
You
gonna have
changed the intro to that one?
I'm gonna have fun editing.
I don't remember
Later.
the lyrics.
I'm gonna have fun editing this later
Like the
uh
very beginning intro.
because the trailer there shouldn't have lyrics. I didn't know that it had lyrics on it because we get flagged by YouTube and all that shit. So I'm
So
just
you
like,
do acknowledge the flags.
oh fuck my life, fuck that shit.
I mean,
Ah, I'm so
that's
rusty.
cool.
There's like at least like 30 seconds worth of intro there that's never gonna make it. Like people didn't even see it. Once this airs, people didn't even see it. They just goes to the main title right away. Ah, I'm so rusty. It's like been 3 weeks,
I mean,
um, but yeah.
let's be
So
deprived.
but what's up, everybody? Welcome to a new episode of We Got Issues. This is episode 11, season 5, episode 11. The reason
When's
why
this
I've been
episode
rusty.
gonna come out?
So the reason why on Wednesday. The reason why I've been a little bit rusty at this it's been 3 weeks since you guys heard from us. I had a baby. Well, not me. My wife had a baby, but we had a baby. So
He went there. He saw it happen. He was there for the emotional support.
I was I was a cheerleader there and whatnot. So so we had a baby and whatnot. So we've been I've been paying attention to that. I was doing the dad stuff. So but yeah, that's what's been happening. So that's why we've been away. So Lewis was actually wondering. It's like, didn't you wonder? Didn't you text me what was going on, if we were still doing or something? But I text you back.
Honestly, surprised you even had time for a podcast.
Like I text you back and I was like, well, I had one.
You text me back literally like 2 days ago. So
No, like I text
there
you
was
back.
like a 3-week intermission.
I text you back when we had a baby. What did I say?
Well, funny enough, the day that I decided, like, hey, let's text to see if
Oh,
this
okay,
guy
so-
is even alive. You called me just then.
Okay, so I'm reading the text in here. So it says on April 10th, because my daughter was born. So I had a
You
girl.
sent me a picture. I said, "Woo!"
I said I can't do We Got Issues today. And he's like a little occupied, and I showed you the picture and whatnot. So yeah.
Well,
So
you
that's been...
technically verbatim can't do. We got issues today.
I've had
A little
yeah. So
occupied.
So a little background there. I know not much people would care, but yeah. So my daughter's been born about a month early. She's like 35 weeks, so she's a little bit preemie, but they call her like advanced preemie. So essentially, it's like the lungs, the heart, and the mind is all like functioning. So if she was born preemie at 35 weeks, it's okay. She'll survive, that kind of stuff. Anything that's under 32 weeks, that is like preemie, and it's like, I don't know if your daughter's gonna make it. She's like at 35 weeks, so she's like, she's all right.
Gotta be like on life support for a while.
Yeah, you gotta have like oxygen and whatnot. She didn't need the oxygen. She didn't need to get heated up and all that. See if she has jaundice and all that. But she's okay.
One of the many terrors of why I don't want children.
Yeah. So I've been as everybody know, I'm like a night owl, so I'm always awake at night. So essentially, I've been training for this my whole life, but nothing can prepare you for it because like she's on the preemie schedule. That means we have to feed her and change her diapers every 3 hours. So I haven't gotten like a good sleep since April 9th. I haven't gotten like really good sleep, but I did like cat naps here and there, and then my body kind of just adjusted to it. Now I'm like fine again. So I'm like, I can do a podcast again. Why not? Get some coffee in me and whatnot. So what have you been doing for the last 3 weeks, Lewis?
Started up a D&D campaign about 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the only cool, interesting thing that happened in my life.
You didn't have a baby? Jesus, man.
I mean, do you want me to? Like, it's not that hard for me to do. Like, I leave the country. I start buying everybody drinks. There's steps to
that we know of. That we know. I don't know if you probably
listen. Whatever me And my bastard children is none of your business.
But to get everything rolling along, just to remind everybody that Alan Qua's exclusive variant cover for Bloodstained Teeth #1 is now shipping. We just received a whole stock of it. It's now shipping. But I will tell you this.
Late?
No, I received it like a couple of days ago. But I will tell you this: there's somewhere damaged, so we're returning it. So getting it delivered to you guys maybe a little bit later than usual because we want to get like good copies. But we're returning those. But it is ready to ship now. You guys can go ahead at comiccubspromotions.com and purchase your copy today. So today, Lewis. Let's talk about the next 6 months of comics. A lot of things have happened. To tell you honestly, within the 3 months of time that I 3 months, within the 3 weeks that we weren't doing this stuff, or podcast, there's a lot of things that happened. Everybody knew what was coming from DC Comics, that they're going to be essentially eliminating the Justice League. They're like, the death of Justice League, which nobody really cared too much because they're just like, you're never gonna eliminate.
I call it the Justice League 6-month vacation.
Yeah, it was just like stupid.
No one had even a good reception, like across the board. People that disagree with each other.
It wasn't a shock.
Everybody was like, okay.
The reason why
is it at least interesting?
Yeah, the reason why is this.
I read it. It's not.
The reason why is this because of what happened in 1992. Okay, 1991. 1991, a little figure called Superman died in the hands of Doomsday, and everybody thought that was it. That was it for Superman. It's gone. But literally 3 months later, he was back to life. So it kind of like
imagine how good Superman would be right now if they actually permanently killed off Superman.
And then brought him back like around now, kind of thing. It would be nice.
Maybe depends on how they did it.
Because of what happened with the death of Superman, this sparks off something called the comic book death. Comic book death doesn't really necessarily mean permanent, especially if it was
semi-permanent.
The only one that I've seen so far that's permanently dead for quite some time already is Alfred. Unless they brought him back. Did they bring him back? I don't think they brought him back.
That's the main reason why a lot of current Batman titles are so good.
Because Alfred's still fucking dead.
Damian Wayne has had the best book possible and the best development he's ever had.
But he has plans to put him back to Lazarus Pit. I know that. He had planned it. They stopped it?
I have not seen any talk or any like shadowing of bringing him back. Everybody truly believes this is permanent. No one is trying to bring him back. His death means something.
Yeah.
And it affected the entire Bat family almost for the better.
Kind of like
in a sad way.
Kind of like Coulson from Avengers, the MCU.
Like every Bat family across the board. Agent Coulson was really a cop-out. And him coming back made me so angry. Okay, I'm going to let that go. His death has made everybody a better person.
Yeah, well, because
they understand that there is no dad to look after them.
Yeah, because essentially Alfred is their father. That's
everybody's father.
That's everyone's dad. Even Jason Todd, man. Like he's the only one. I think he's the only one who always loved Jason Todd. I think he's the only one.
He's the only one that made sure that Jason Todd didn't become a serial killer.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Dick Grayson, he pretty much gave him all the money that he has accumulated passively through Bruce and gave it to him because he was so confident that Dick could use it for the better.
Yeah.
Damian, even though they were at odds a lot of time, really did appreciate everything that Alfred has ever done to him or for him. Like remembering his birthday. Something that Bruce doesn't know.
This is why comic book deaths have never been respected enough until Alfred's death. And Alfred is still dead. So that's actually really, really good. Now, here is the thing though. The reason why our topic today is the next 6 months is because we are now entering the summer books. The summer books is essentially the big books coming out for publishers. This is like their big event books, the big event books in the summer. Summer is like when they hit their strides. That's when you get like revelations, new storylines that would affect the winter events, the fallout, some fall events, that kind of stuff.
Maybe some crises here or there.
Crisis here and there and whatnot. All the big books that you guys know of, Infinite Crisis for DC, even the New 52. I think the New 52 happened in the later on, but leading up to New 52 was Flashpoint and all that stuff. That all happened in the summer. Any big events happening, it's during the summer season. And now is the time where you go, okay, what is the publisher's plan for the next 6 months? Since we're talking about DC right now, it seems like their plan is to move forward with their
passing of the banner
and their agendas, whatever that may be. I like to refer to it in my mind, at least, the inclusion agenda. That's what I like.
They seem to be skipping some people that were ahead of the line, for more favored pastures.
I know, right? They're skipping people who deserve to be where they're heading.
I wouldn't say deserved more, but
there's so much more. There's so much more characters that deserves more, but they're just like skipping them over because they're like,
we're not working on those books anymore.
It's like we're gonna do the inclusion thing because the inclusion thing, that's the way it is. Gen Z stuff, you know.
I love the fact that after the entire Justice League was killed off, somehow Black Adam survived, and the only reason he survived is literally because they have 2 books upcoming basically for him.
Well, not just books, but movie too as well.
He was plot convenience though.
So the only reason why he survived is because of books and movie. Dwayne Johnson's like
also the foreshadowing in the background where it's just Dwayne Johnson's like giant ass head.
Oh my god. So let's list up who the hold on. So DC's big event this summer is called the Dark Crisis, right? The Dark Crisis event is supposed to take you to the summer until they're extending it until the winter event, which will lead you to the spring. So the summer event will happen, and then the fallout from Dark Crisis will happen, and then the setting up for the spring event will happen in December. So they have something called the Dark Crisis, right? And it started in April for Justice League number 75. I don't know if you remember selling those, Lewis.
Oh, I remember only getting the casket variants. Those did really well.
So, the Justice League number 75 is the Death of Justice League, right?
It was stupid.
It was stupid.
Okay, so here's my problem with the book. It's not the content. It's how stupid the villain looks.
Yeah. So
I feel no threat whatsoever. But yet has full control of every higher ranked being under his zombie-like control.
Yeah. So it begins in April with Justice League number 75. That's like a prelude kind of thing, or like whatever you want to call it. And then in May, they always release something on Free Comic Book Day, kind of like
which is Dark Crisis number 0.
Yeah, which is the same thing as they did with Green Lantern, the Blackest Night.
Yeah, there was a free comic book for Darkest Night number 0.
Yeah, this is why you should never throw out any DC or Marvel Free Comic Book Day, because they put something in there that would be worth a lot. So let's just say you collected all of Blackest Night from 1 till whatever it was. You're not complete because you have to get Blackest Night number 0, which was on Free Comic Book Day, which most people threw out, right? So that's why you always keep them. So Dark Crisis number 0 comes out on Free Comic Book Day, and then the event starts in June. Like I said, summer event. It'll it'll be from across the board. That means every single title that you can come across with may have some sort of connection to it, like Flash, or anything else, like
Wonder
Batman, Superman,
Woman,
Wonder Woman.
Nightwing,
Yeah, it'll affect it, right? Wonder Woman,
Superman,
anything, right? So
Batman Detective.
yeah, so Dark Crisis begins, but as of right now, I don't know, man. I know they have a heavy hitter that's actually going to be writing Dark Crisis. Number 1 for Superman, I think it's Tom King. I saw that.
So
It'll be
we will not understand anything that
yeah,
happened the entire
yeah.
time.
So here's the list of subplots that's going to be coming out. So you have Dark Crisis, Worlds Without Justice League, Superman #1. Tom King's going to be writing that. Dark Crisis, World Without Justice League, Green Lantern #1. Wonder Woman #1. Dark Crisis, World Without Justice League #1.
Oh, Tom King?
No, Tini Howard's going to be doing it. And then you have
I do believe, and this is just my opinion, if Tom King is going to write a special that's going to go across every title, it should only be Tom King.
It's just Tom King.
Because if you try to go after Tom King, your plot is not going to make a lot of sense, or it's not going to sync.
Yeah.
And he overcomplicates like mechanics in the book itself that nobody else can follow. And I feel that a lot of these like mini stories are going to be bad because it makes no sense to the main plot.
So essentially what's going to happen now is that when DC does crisis events, that means that there's going to be a rewriting or a refocusing of
reorganization.
Reorganization, where they want to direct a certain books and storylines, right?
But keep in mind that all that means nothing.
Yeah, that means nothing at all. Lewis knows, and you guys know, I have a boner for New 52. New 52 is the only one that I knew.
It is such beautiful art.
It's just off topic a little bit. On Facebook reminder, you have like a reminder. I posted on my personal Facebook that I just grabbed about 10 or 11 years ago. I grabbed the first copy, #1 copy of Earth 2, I think it was. No, Earth 2, Earth 3. Yeah, Earth 3, I think it was. And it was the most amazing. It was the most amazing #1 issue that I've ever read. Because it was like, this is Justice League Earth 3 or Earth 2. I think it was Earth 3. No, Earth 2. It was Earth 2.
Wasn't Earth 2 a bunch of it's reversed?
No. Earth 3 is the supervillain ones. It's Earth 2.
Right.
Okay, so that's why it's called the Trinity War. Anyways, so I grab Earth 2, and once you flip to the first page, they're automatically in the war with Apocalypse. And then you see how Batman dies of that Earth 2, and you see how Superman dies in that Earth 2, and how Wonder Woman dies in that Earth 2, and you're just like, what the fuck is going on? Like, the Justice League literally dies. And then you discover at the end of that book, Earth 2 is not about a Justice League book, it's a Justice Society book. And you're like, wow. And like how they reimagine the Justice Society. This is when there was no agenda, but the story kind of just flows with
wasn't the sake to be better or to get a point across. It was good story writing so that people can have fun or enjoy.
So let me put it this way: they weren't beating down the whole LGBTQ in your throat, because they just weren't doing that. It just flew with the storyline. And you know what I'm talking? Do you know what I'm talking about?
I feel like they're cutting back on that and more like.
So here, no. I'll explain to you. So when Earth 2 came out and New 52 came out, DC did something that hasn't been done in like 40 or 50 years of this character's existence, and it made sense. It made so much sense that it was one of the best books, and till this day, the man is still gay. Alan Scott. They made Alan Scott gay, right? And it made an uproar. But when people read the book, they're just like, it made so much fucking sense. Because one, if you notice, turns wear their ring on the right hand, right? They wear their ring in the right hand, but different, right? Like, for example, the original Hal Jordan wears it on his right hand, but right here. Where's the other? Who's the third Green Lantern again?
John Stewart.
John Stewart. John Stewart wears it.
I can't say John Stewart's name without making Megamind voice.
John Stewart wears it right here. But Alan Scott, the original Green Lantern, who's afraid of wood. Look it up, guys.
It's the most weirdest.
Look it up.
Possible. It's not a joke. It's his only weakness.
Yeah. So, Alan Scott, he wears his ring on the left hand on the ring finger, and you always wonder why. And the story made so much sense. It's because he was engaged. He was already engaged to his partner, and the green took over his body to be the avatar, and that ring became the weapon, which made so much fucking sense. Nowadays, they're just like, yeah, Dick Grayson, look at his ass, gay. Damian Wayne,
I'm still like, by the way.
Yeah. So
his ass though.
Yeah, I get that.
Best ass in DC.
But that's what DC is doing nowadays. They're like, look, gay. Look, gay. And here's
they're doing it more towards their more like newer characters versus
that's
established characters.
That's why I'm calling it their inclusivity initiative, right? That's their inclusivity initiative. Like I said before in the past podcast, I don't care if you're gay. I don't care if you're bisexual, as long as the story it flows. And that's one example. Alan Scott being gay, one example of perfectly making him, he's gay. Nowadays, they're just like, hey, Superman number 3? Superman number 3. Guess what, Jonathan? Gay.
To pivot off this a little bit and go into Marvel, have you read the new SpiderMan?
Peter Parker gay?
No, I wish. It would have made a much more interesting story than this hot garbage that is a book.
But okay, hold on. Let me just finish this off. So let me just finish that. So essentially, the DC initiative right now for the next 6 months with the Dark Crisis, I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling it at all. It doesn't have the same pizzazz as, say,
if
I don't know.
Any of you were looking to drop some books for like a couple months, and probably take a break from comic books, this is your moment.
This is your moment. If you want to
experiment with independence.
You want to drop off. That's a good conclusion. I mean, like, you should have said that at the end of this show. But yes, that is a good conclusion of what we're about to.
You can just edit this to be the end.
But right now is a good time to go independent.
Anything. There's a huge list of cool stuff.
But
you like Jace? No, not Jace Scott. No. Scotty Young. Mm-hmm. New book, Twig. Read it.
Stupid. But I mean, like, DC's summer lineup is weak because they're too in their inclusivity initiative right now. So, but Lewis was mentioning Marvel. So Marvel's summer event is something called Axe Judgment Day. Axe Judgment Day is essentially Avengers versus Eternals. So if you guys are wondering where the axe came from, is because they play off the whole event that they had back in 2010 or 2011, around there, called A versus X, which is Avengers versus X-Men. Essentially, they were fighting over Hope Summers and the new Phoenix. The Phoenix is coming back. Yep. just a side note. Why is it always a big event when the Phoenix comes back? The Phoenix always comes back. Who cares?
Because in their minds, they think it's a very interesting concept that doesn't always have to be the same.
It is always the same.
It is always the same. I do agree with you. The way even that weird tournament they did to see which the Phoenix Force choose who is worthy of its power. I'm like, just shut up, choose Jean Grey, move on with your life.
The Phoenix Force is always comes back and it always chooses a new avatar, and that's about it. And it's getting annoying because every time that they put
no, you don't remember the last time. It was like 3 different Phoenix Forces in 3 different locations.
Oh, I know. They did the same thing with Avengers vs. X-Men. There was like 5 Phoenix Forces. One of them is Cyclops.
There was a Phoenix Egg in Guardians of the Galaxy that I don't think was ever explained.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Phoenix Force was not on Earth, somewhere else. I just don't remember the book.
Here's what would make things interesting. Phoenix Force comes back, but not for Earth. It's just passing by Earth. It's coming back for fucking everyone. That's including the Living Tribunal, the one above all, like those kind of things. Like that would be.
I don't think it'll work very well. It'll just be another.
Let me put it this way. Lewis. If the Phoenix Force, if Marvel made an event that the Phoenix Force just came after everybody and doesn't pick any avatar at all, and it came after the Living Tribunal, it came after the one above all and the one below all, that would be their flashpoint. Because at some point in time, the one above all will just look at everything and be like, everything's fucking decimated. Everyone's fucking dead. You have to restart it. Then you can restart a brand new number ones about everything, right? But they never do. Every time the Phoenix Force comes back, it's like one of these. It becomes like a Vegas betting ground. It's like
it's essentially like, oh, Galactus.
No, it's always like no. It becomes like a Vegas betting ground and be like, oh, who's gonna be this time? I got 5 out. It's like I got 500 out of 1 for fucking egg here somewhere.
At this point, just give it to Doom.
No, just give it to
he can use it for a lot of good, at least for his own country.
It's just why don't you keep it to like why give it to the hammer, to Thor's hammer, just the Thor hammer, just give it to him, give it to it.
Oh, that would be amazing. So give it to Mjolnir?
Yeah, just give it to him. Just give it to him. That's him. That's the hammer.
Are we now emphasizing that the hammer is male?
Oh, don't give me that. Okay.
But all right, let me talk about this garbage ass book. Alrighty, Amazing Spider-Man, probably some of the worst literature I've ever read.
What's going on with Spider-Man right
now? It takes place somewhere in the future. I don't know when, but Chasm is not going to be a thing. We got a cameo Chasm, and that's all we're going to get from that character.
Well, in the free comic book day, Spider-Man and
Venom
Spider-Man, Chasm is there. He's teaming up with the Goblin Queen.
It doesn't even matter.
Yeah, I know, but they're gonna use him for quite some time.
But I mean in the main continuity. Alrighty, first page. Peter Parker is screaming in a crater. The next page, 3 and 4, 6 months later. That's strike 1.
Okay, so we established that things like piece of garbage, but let's talk about AXE. Okay, Axe, Avengers, X-Men, Eternals. So essentially, the big draw for the Judgment Day for Avengers, X-Men, Eternals, the biggest draw that they have here is essentially the Eternals recognizing the mutants as not people at all. They are an evolutionary trait of the what was their mortal enemy? I forgot what their mortal enemy is.
Apocalypse?
No. Eternals' mortal enemies.
Oh, the Eternals' mortal enemy. The variants.
The variants. Yeah, they're acknowledging that mutants are actually variants, and they never did anything about it. So now they're rewriting that Mutants are variants. That's what they are. And I don't know what Avengers like.
So they're going down the path of the Inhumans kind of story arc.
No, Inhumans is always going to be Inhumans. They're just off somewhere, just going, I guess we're not involved in this thing again. Maybe next year. It's always like that. Inhumans is like that little cousin that you have that you only acknowledge.
You don't dislike, but
No.
you only ever see him on Facebook.
No, you only
and he brags about his fishing trips.
No, you only see that cousin during family reunion, and that's the only time you acknowledge that kid. Any other time, don't exist at all. That's what Inhumans is.
Like you ignore him because he keeps talking about fishing. And you're like, okay, I've never been fishing. And he's like, do you want to come? Yeah. And then you just walk away. Yeah.
So essentially, that is the biggest draw in there, that the mutants are now variants. Not variants. What do they call it, Lewis? Not variants. Not variants. God damn it. I have to look this up now while I'm freaking like talking to you.
Fine. I can research. You can keep talking.
You're supposed to be my research guy, man.
I brought it up and you don't agree with me.
Well, it just kind of hits me. I'm like, wait a minute, they're not variants. No, man. Deviants, that's it.
Deviants. Deviants. Whatever.
Yeah, so they acknowledge them as deviants, not variants.
That was close.
So Marvel event goes like this. They go through summer, and for some reason, they drag this shit out up to spring. I don't know why. Like, they drag it out until spring. And then if it does,
they're probably giving their writers more time to write shorter stories.
No, but then this is what happens when it does great reception, which always does because it's a summer event.
They spawn like 30 books out of them.
They spawn 50 billion books out of it.
For example, no one wants to read.
Yeah. For example, Jonathan Hickman. Okay. They did their X-Men #1 because it was during the summer event of Krakoa and all that crap, right? Did so well. We are still in it. This was 2 years ago, people.
The Power and House?
Yeah, the House and Power of X.
I'm more and more like people are apologizing to me. It's like, man, I can't keep up with all the X-Men titles. And I'm like, I never expected you to. You're doing this to yourself. I even told you like 2 months ago. Yo, you got to stop with all these X-Men titles.
It's been 2 years, people. 2 years of that crap, all right?
And they went from not being immortal to back to being immortal.
And then 2 years in a row, or 2 years in a row. No, it's been 3 years already of this Jonathan Hickman stuff, and then 2 years in a row, they have this whole fucking Met Gala thing that happens. Like, they just go to a gala all the time just so that every single artist and writers can draw up like dresses for these fucking characters.
Some of them look good though.
For no fucking reason at all.
No reason, but some of them do look good.
Listen, if I want to see fucking stupid ass dresses that's very loud and eccentric, I'll look at a Vogue catalog, all right? If I'm getting a fucking X-Men, I'm not gonna be like, ooh, this clothes looks so good on Jean Grey. Ooh, look at them heels. No,
I am
man,
one of those people.
At this point, they should just have what's her name? Ann Winters, who's in charge of Ann Wintour. Ann Wintour. The one who's actually doing the Met Gala and the editor of Vogue, to just write up fucking X-Men at this point every year. Just hire Anna Wintour. That's it. Anna Wintour. Okay. At this point, just have Anna Wintour fucking write up X-Men.
I would read it.
Really?
Yeah. It sounds more interesting what they're doing now. What are we gonna get? Another Phoenix Force otherwise?
Another Phoenix Force, and then like some of these, I don't know, man. I had it with these with the big two right now, and then you can. This is the time for you to explore independent, but there are some independent out there that is just getting ridiculous. Like IDW, I think we're beating the dead horse on anything Ninja Turtles right now, man.
Actually, it's doing really well.
I know it's doing really well, but it's just way too much Ninja Turtles. Well, the reason why
it's the one
the
book.
reason let me put it this way.
That one and Last Ronin. That's it. And that was the last issue.
Okay, let me put it this way. The reason why it's doing so well right now is because they did reintroduce a character that was on the TV show only, and now it's back. It's the first appearance.
Female turtle. It's
She's the very first female
turtle.
Venus. Venus is the very first female turtle ever. Okay, there's been 3. There's been Venus, April, and then Jenica. Those are the 3 main turtles. Yes, but they keep beating it down like your throats, like every fucking every issue. Like female first turtle. Oh, this and that. Rat King. It's like
Rat King.
Like, let's just like get over it, guys. Like let's just get over it. And then like there was, unbeknownst to a lot of people, there have been discussion of a big Image get together, but never happened. There was supposed to be a reunion within the Image 7, and they were gonna make an epic summer book with all their characters all together, like literally like Jim Lee, Rob Liefeld, all that stuff. They were gonna get together.
Probably never happen.
It didn't happen because they were blaming each other. So this why it never happened. Rob Liefeld blames Todd McFarlane. Todd McFarlane says it's not the time yet. The reason why is because he's doing a Spawn movie. That Spawn movie that he hasn't been, is still in pre-production since like 4 years ago.
It's been in production hell for 4 years. Yeah. And he can't blame COVID. You want to know why? Because I have full confidence in myself.
Yeah.
To think that even without COVID, this would still be in production hell.
So right now, like you can definitely, in my opinion, explore, like Lewis said, explore independent comic books. Like right now, there are some numbers that came in for Artist Elite, which we talked about the other day. That one's like run by a bunch of artists. Anyways, their pre-orders at 10,000 right now.
Nice.
Not bad, right? Not bad. 10,000, but I was expecting it would be a little bit more. But
10,000 is about right for people excited for new stuff.
Yeah, but I was hoping it'll be a little bit more.
You also have to understand that it is a untested publisher. They're the new kids on the block. It's not like the 90s where everybody had money to throw around like it's nothing.
Yeah. Image is doing some good stuff there now too as well. They have a lot of like more grounded story that's happening during the summer. During the summer, they usually put out some of their big ones. Boom Studios, I've seen what Boom Studios is putting out. I kind of hate to say it, but Boom Studios is like, it's like Chanwa. Have you heard of Chanwa?
No.
I get knocked down, I get up again. And
so you feel like they're on the low right now?
They released a Chawawamba with Berserker, and they just never able to replicate it again.
They're not really bringing anything I'm excited for. They're rebooting Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and I don't kind of care.
Yeah, but this is something to be expected based on the interview that we had with Ross Ritchie. He cares more about just the story. Doesn't matter whether he likes it or not.
He truly does believe in the long term versus the short term bursts.
Yeah. He doesn't care whether people fucking like
it or not.
This is something that's really that he wants to go after. So, I mean, good for him.
It's good in general, but you have to have consistency in bringing out new interesting product. Every so often. The Berserker was delayed way too long. It should have been done by now. Something's killing the children. I understand for the hiatus, and honestly, I don't think it's killed the book.
Yeah.
House of Slaughter, if you go any more fucking slower with your story build up, I will kill you. Murder someone.
You can start like looking at independent, like we said, Artist Elite's doing something really good there too as well. Quite recently, Frank Miller is releasing his own publishing company called Frank Miller Presents. He's doing a brand new Sin City book and a brand new Ronin book, which I guess is fine. I mean, for the nostalgia of it, it's fine. I guess so.
Xenoscope's coming out with the new Vampirella.
Yeah,
I mean,
not Zenoscope. You mean Dynamite?
Dynamite? Yeah, my bad.
Dynamite.
I apologize to Xenoscope. You're better than that.
Zenoscope just.
It doesn't exist anymore, as far as I understand.
It was good too, but like they had good ones. They had a big spike back in 2011.
They didn't take advantage of it.
But they never took advantage of it. Like one of my favorite books that they had was Hook. That was amazing. I thought it was pretty cool. Hook was amazing because it was like, oh, what if Peter Pan was actually the villain who's kidnapping kids, and Hook was one of those kids that he kidnapped but got away, grew up in the real world, then went back,
became a very successful ship-faring pirate, had some fairy dust on him.
Yeah, so I mean, I guess that's like that was good, but then nothing else after that. Let me ask you this, Lewis. If you have a choice between all these publishers and following their summer events, which would last about 2-3 months,
right?
Or take a break from comics for about a month or so, which one would you pick? Would you follow one book for 3 months straight, and then or take a break from
like if I was following more than just Flash, I would take a break from everything but Flash, because I would just read that book. Is good, I read it. Is bad, I read it. Is shit, I read it. Because eventually it's gonna end up being good, and I'm gonna enjoy that.
Yeah.
But I would definitely. My problem is that I know Chip Zdarsky is gonna bring up. He's gonna do both Batman and Daredevil. So my advice to people is avoid the living shit out of big events and start following things that has nothing to do with them. I don't think the new Daredevil run has anything to do with Axe. So it should be solid story writing from Chip Zdarsky. The new Batman run has nothing to do with it either.
Yeah. I would follow some Star Wars stuff.
Star Wars, there's a new Obi-Wan Kenobi run happening this week.
Yeah, I would do that.
The new Mandalorian book in a week or two from now.
Yeah, I would
recommend those, especially if you. And this is like journal entries of Obi-Wan Kenobi, so it should be interesting. So they can make up any story that they want.
Yeah,
from his
I would
youth.
do those. I would do those instead.
It's gonna be good.
But yeah, no, dive yourself into some indie. I mean, like we're doing exclusive variant covers for Bloodstained Teeth because that was actually pretty good. The storyline is really good.
If you're into horror, Bloodstained Teeth
is really good. Metal Society is really good too, man. Like that's
the Closet's gonna come out soon.
The Closet's coming out too as well from James Tynion.
So that's gonna be good.
So that's gonna be good too as well. Explore your stuff on the independent because for the next 6 months, they're just the big two are just gonna beat you down.
If you don't want to leave outside of DC, I would recommend the house by the lake. The nice house by the lake. Am I getting that wrong?
No, you got it right. Nice house by the lake. Yeah. But yeah, that's it for this week's episode for We Got Issues. It's good to be back again and whatnot. There's gonna be I'm gonna be back again too as well with there is going to be a special episode of spoilers ahead on Wednesday. I will spoil a little bit of what happened in Doctor Strange 2.
I will not be here for that. I already got my tickets for it. Don't you?
A bunch of leaks happen. Oh my god! My God. Oh, Jesus. But yeah, watch out for that. The new weekly Wednesdays will also be out too on Wednesdays, so watch out for that too as well. Until then, Lewis, any last words for everybody?
Mary Jane is a whore.
She is.
She had kids with a guy named Jerry.
Fucking Jerry.
Fucking
Jerry. Well, have a nice day, everybody. We'll see you later on.
Bye.